And all new at 5, a major organized crime bust. 23 people under arrest now accused of stealing guns and cash.
Today, police revealed 4 organized crime groups are wreaking havoc.
From aggravated robbery to kidnapping, burglary, and more. Let's take a look at this. New pictures from court documents in this case. These are a few of the people who have been charged, and investigators say the money, tens of thousands of dollars, is all stolen.
FBI, open up!
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Craig Gatto from the Reality Report. What's up, man?
What's up, Billy boy? How are you, my friend? What's a good word?
I'm doing great. Things are great. I can't complain.
I know, man. You always grinding. I see you everywhere, brother.
Always.
Always a pleasure to be here with you, my friend. Always.
Thank you. I appreciate it. How's your day going?
Always. Good, bro. We're just running around the last couple of days. Been a little wild with just a lot of running around, and then I got a little emotional on a show last night. Some of that young hot temper came through a little bit, but you know this I guess this genre we're in, or I'm learning about.
Genre.
Yeah, that whole word, the whole thing freaks me out. But anyway, all is well, man. How about on your end? Everything good?
Yeah, things are great.
It's good, brother. That's good. I know you got good things going, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm happy for you, man. Happy for you.
Yeah, I wish I had time to link up with you when I was out there.
I know. I saw you. I knew some of the areas you were in, but things will work out. We'll definitely get together.
100%.
It'll happen. We'll definitely hook up.
So last time you were on the show, I've had you on before. We talked about some
Yeah,
things,
man.
but you were holding back.
Absolutely. I was new to this whole, really not feeling too comfortable about talking about certain things. And, 8-9 months later, I got a better feel for this whole, yeah. And I don't want to be too slow on the speech. So, because it could frustrate people, maybe hearing me speak, but now, no, if I got something to say, I say it. I won't talk about active people. I won't talk about certain things. Like if guys are active, I'll never mention a name. If somebody's deceased that I know or was with or was under, I will say their name now. But, in time, more things will be revealed with me in my life and others that I was around. But those things in time will wait because
Slow trickle, right?
yeah, because there's certain things I still believe in, and I was never officially a made guy, but that was the game plan. 24/7, I believed it, I walked it, I lived it, and that was the end game. Otherwise, why would I be in it? Now, looking back at it, I'm glad none of those things happened.
Yeah, I think it's just puts a target on you when you have that.
Yeah, I mean, to think about, I did a show last night, and it's probably out of all the stuff I do, it's the least favorite thing is when I have to. I don't have to tell one of. I don't like to call them stories, but an event that might have happened. They are stories. I just don't like the word story because to me, story could mean it's fake, or it's I think of Dr. Seuss.
Oh, he's telling the story.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Seuss, green eggs and ham. So it's an event. It's something that happened. So, yeah, so I don't enjoy because I never want to seem like I'm glorifying it. I never want to be that guy that was signing baseball bats, but unfortunately, if you're going to say something and you're going to talk and tell about different things and events, you could try to say them as comfortable as possible. But the truth of the matter is, people want to hear shit. People want to hear. They want to know things. They want to know. So did somebody get cracked? Did you have to hit somebody with a hammer? Whatever. You know what I'm saying, Billy. So maybe I'm a little bit more comfortable with that now. Yeah, and I've learned not to give a shit what anybody thinks anyway anymore. Maybe that's what it was. I cared too much about what people thought.
Yeah. Well,
If
you're
I didn't,
telling it from your perspective. It's
absolutely.
not, you know, it's your story, not someone
And
else's.
now, obviously now, a grandfather, and things change in life, and things happen for reasons. And greatest thing that ever happened was me not getting that button. That's a fact.
Hey, Robert Mack, what's up, man? Mickey, how are you? Got a lot of people in the house. They're
Man,
following you.
nah, man, nah, I feel honored. Listen, Billy, when you called, last week, and we were supposed to hook up, and that was my bad, totally. When you suffer from what I suffer, AD, double H, triple D, yeah, yeah. It's not an excuse. But man, I am bad, bro. And but nah, there's nothing, bro. You're my man. I told you that. I'll never forget. I didn't have a single subscriber, and you were willing to talk to me. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and there were a couple others. Chad Marks, another one, and another gentleman. But you know how I feel about you, buddy.
Yeah, I'll help out anyone that needs help.
1,000%.
Yeah, Gianni, what's up, Dave? How are you?
Gianni,
Ted, Aaron.
I can't see because I'm working off. I'm not on the computer.
Cell phone, right?
Yeah, I hate this cell phone shit. I hate it. I got used to the mic and all this. Can you hear me good enough, bud?
Yeah.
All right, good.
So when you told me your story last time, you kind of left a lot out, right? So
I forget what we were talking about. I think we were talking about like my neighborhood stuff, like growing up.
Yeah. So when you were growing up, what was your first involvement with these guys? Like, what was there a moment where it was like a first involvement with these people?
All right. So, a lot of things I didn't talk about. I want you to understand this. I'm going to take you to the exact moment that I raised my hand. I fit whatever they might have been looking for, but believe me, I was all in. Hand up, ready to go. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. You know what I mean? That type of thing. So, but make no mistake about it. There has to be a fit. You understand? Especially in the time that I spent in the life. Another great saying I love. Oh, makes me sick. Anyway, so as a young kid, Billy, my family roots come from East Harlem. A lot of breeding ground, a lot of, that's another popular word, the breeding ground for the mob. A lot of guys did come out of East Harlem. Legendary names, if you want to call them legendary names. I am not a historian. I am not. It's not something that I study. Yeah, I see in the movies and all of that. But at a young age, 12, 11, 13, I was surrounded by some of the bigger names that will be revealed. But it wasn't so as a young kid, I worked for trucking companies, young boy. This is getting a call from Ireland. I got to decline that. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
they all had a connection in that life, right? The trucking companies.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I could have been groomed at a very young age. So, there's a saying, some guys are born into the life. I was not born into the life. The life chose me and I chose it. Now, that being said, as a young kid, I could have had a real head start. I'm talking very young. But I didn't go that way. I was an athlete. I wanted to play ball. So I started, I always had the hustle game in me, Billy. So just know that. I always hustled. So like say, no matter what job I had, what I was doing. Say you had 1,000 pairs of left-footed sneakers. I was the guy you would bring them to, because I'm telling you, I would make sure I found the other 1,000 pairs of the right-footed ones.
Yeah.
So we could go sell them shoes. You understand?
Yeah.
So, it's totally normal for me, or, I can't speak for everybody else. So, the firework thing, the football tickets, that's the norm. That's the norm. If you got a garage, you should have a garage full of fireworks, and you should be selling them. That's normal. That's
if you have a space to keep it all, right?
Right. Yeah. If you got a warehouse, your warehouse, your warehouse should be full. But then fireworks started to become a felony. It wasn't a desk appearance anymore. So I'm not saying the game changed with the fireworks, but guys did get more careful with the firework game. But those were, petty bullshit things. But there were also gateways into hustling, earning. But you see, me, I had a couple legitimate businesses. Okay, as I became a man, I had flooring business, carpeting business, right?
Yeah.
I had some very strong ins in buildings with building managers and stuff like that. So the whole bullshit bidding thing that never went on, I would automatically, I was the lucky winner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's all because of what was behind me. This is before I'm not officially with a crew. I'm just in business with the right people.
So now once you're starting to do these little things in the street and things, are you with a certain person, and what family? Someone asked, what family were you associated with? And do you go under a certain person?
Yeah. So I wind up getting on record with the Lucchese family. Okay. Our captain, I'll give you his name. His name was Richard DeLuca. He's passed away now. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else? I'll be more than happy to share with you, my brother. I just gave you the captain, told you the family. If you want to know the role I played many roles.
What was your first interactions with them? Because you said you were doing certain small things, but what was the first major interaction with them where it's like, all right, I'm with them now?
Well, the first thing that sticks out in my head is the crazy thing is where I'm from in Queens. I used to hang out in a place that was a Chinese restaurant. Okay, so it was a really relaxing bar, great lounge, great food. So a lot of guys would come in there. But on this one particular night, I'm going to take the glasses off because I don't have to worry about reading the comments, brother.
Thank you, Muggsy. I appreciate it.
So this one particular night, I'm in this place in Queens called Evergreen, Chinese restaurant. I was there I could have lived there. I was there all the time. And some people that I knew from the neighborhood wanted to introduce me to a couple of people from the Bronx. I didn't know they were from the Bronx. I'm telling you this now. So he introduces me to them. And within 10, 15 minutes, one of the particular guys, we strike up a good conversation. And within 30 minutes, we're both on the same page as far as hustle, money. So now I don't know, you just don't know who's what or what's what. Nobody comes up to you and says, I'm so-and-so with so-and-so. You find that stuff out later. But, you learn, now some people could fake it until they get caught. But, I knew in a short period of time I was dealing with somebody that was around. And I'll tell you how. Before our conversation, we had a long night. We had a lot of drinking, a lot of good talks about, and you're always talking about making $1. That's how it starts. But really what's going on is that it's really an interview process is what's happening. That's really what's going on. You're feeling that person out you're talking to. Now, I'm not thinking in my mind that I'm just thinking of somebody else I can hustle with. You know what I mean? I wasn't truly thinking that. You know, even though the pinky ring was on and the whole dress a certain way, you know,
Yeah.
the whole costume. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of that night. It ended off with you know, I told them I had a legitimate. I had a couple of businesses that were legitimate. So you know, I had the ability to earn money, Billy.
Yeah, but so with you having a legitimate business, are you at all concerned that these people are going to attach themselves to your legitimate business?
Not at all. Because I didn't need to. Because you see, I didn't go to the restaurant that night thinking that I was going to get caught up in the life. Nor I had partners in business.
Oh,
And
you already had partners in the business.
Absolutely. So the partners that I had in business, I can't say their names right now because they're alive. Got me?
I get it. I get it.
So the thinking of somebody going to take a piece of my business, and I'm not playing a tough guy here. It's not going to happen.
Have you seen other people in the neighborhood walking around trying to say I'm with this guy or try to fake it like they're with
Are
other
you kidding
people?
me? I came from a neighborhood.
Like these clowns do on the internet. Have you seen that on the street?
Absolutely, 1,000,000%.
And what happens to them? What happened? Do you got a situation you could explain?
I could tell you right now. I was raised, and a lot of the gentlemen that I was raised around, whether it be my brother-in-laws, dear friends, we all kind of raised the same way. The first person that tells you, and you're taught this at a young age, probably too young to understand. First person that tells you I'm with so-and-so, or do you know who I am? Any sort of verbiage like that, drop them right there and leave them there. We'll worry about it later. I mean, you want the no bullshit answer, there it is. Now, does that happen every time? No, but it happens. Because you're not supposed to talk that way in that life. You're not supposed to say, do you know who I am if you are somebody?
Yeah, they're shouting out names. They're letting people know different names, or I'm even involved with any of this shit. They're not supposed to talk about any of it.
Nobody's supposed to know none of that. If you know what's funny about this, what I find funny, and I'm sure I understand there's a lot of people that don't like what I do or how I speak. But you know what? That's an emotion. They'll get over it.
I'm sure.
And as you can see, I'm really concerned. And that's just the truth because I do pride myself. I'm not talking bullshit, so I'm not worried about anything I say. That's why, if I say I was in the Bronx, I was in the Bronx. If I say I was with a family, I was with the family. If I said I was under a captain, that was a captain. I'm not afraid. I could say it.
Joe T wants to know, Craig Gatto, did you know Tony Silo in the streets?
Tony who?
Tony Silo.
Oh, great fucking question. Wow. Did I know him in the street? Well, Billy, I don't think it's time. I'm going to answer, Joe. I'm going to answer the question.
He was the boss, right?
I'm going to answer your question.
He was the boss, right?
You see what my head's doing, right? All right. You know the saying, "Don't kick a guy when he's down."
Yeah.
I never agreed with that. That's the best time. You see.
That's the best time.
Of course, I'm being sarcastic. You see, when you give somebody an opportunity, I don't care what it is, and they abuse that opportunity and make a total jerk out of myself and I had to take full responsibility for that. But let me answer his question first, because if anybody wants to hear my thoughts on him personally, they got about 40 minutes of that last night. I kind of had a little meltdown, but it needed to happen. You know, it's got to happen every now and then. You got to let it out.
Or do you want to explain the situation? Because maybe people don't know. Maybe you could just break down the situation on what happened really quick.
Well, let me. No problem. I'll do that. But let me just tell Joe T first his question. Did I know Tony Silo in the street? Tony Silo came from the same roundabout area as where I came from. The only interaction I had with Tony in the street was none. My boys played football with his son when they were 9 years old. So I would see Mr. Tony Silo, which is, I guess, a Hollywood stage name. I don't know why, you know, whatever. That's, he could answer.
You didn't know him as that name.
No, absolutely not. But you know what? You know, it would make me, you know, it would, as much disdain as and it's not disdain. I got it off my chest already. He's got to live with who he is. I don't, you know, to me, Billy, honestly, cooperating, ratting, or being a fucking degenerate, sick, crazy, psychopathic liar is just as bad. So, you know, because that's just as dangerous. It's a sickness. It really is. So, honestly, we need to pray for him because it's a sickness. It's really.
I don't know.
Crazy.
I don't know him. I know nothing about any of the situation. Really.
Well, you know, and you know,
what happened with you? What happened with you and him? So, did you know him before you came onto YouTube? And how did you guys get linked up? You guys had a little show you were doing, and then something happened, and then.
All right. So what happened? What happened is this. I knew nothing about. First, let me take you back. I told you our kids, my two of my boys. I have 3, 4 altogether. 2 of my boys played football at like 9 years old. I think they were 9 or 10, with his son, unfortunately, who has passed away. Tragedy. And that is the truth. That's horrible. I knew his son as a child.
That's terrible.
Yeah. So, you know, the kids played ball on Saturdays, I believe. So I didn't see him every Saturday. But, you know, I'm living the street life. I'm up in the Bronx with a Bronx crew. But right over the bridge, the Whitestone Bridge, is where my kids are. So I'm only 10 minutes, you know, away from them. So I'm divorced at the time. So I have the kids, you know how it goes, every other weekend, you know, every week. But I had it was worked out great. So I had them all the time. And it was good. But how I actually met him officially was a brawl broke out at a football field, and he was
with the kids there.
Yeah.
What was it? The parents fighting?
Yeah, just craziness. And I happened to get down there a little late, and I see my brother Joey out on the field because my nephew was down there too, and I just remember them fighting, and I remember him. Look, you do what you do, you know. Your kids play together, you know. You're not a hero. You do what you do. You do what men do. You're scrapping. So, you know, we didn't know him. It didn't matter if we knew him or not. You know, my kids played with his kids, so you help out. You know what I mean? It was a free for all. It was a free for all in the rain and mud. It was a good old fashioned one.
Yeah. If that would have happened today, it would have gone viral, probably.
So he had. I used to hear, you know, in that sick. I could say sick, and in your sick way of thinking. Then, and people are so impressed with this shit, especially when they believe they know somebody, or they're close to somebody. They're close to somebody, or they believe, like, I have to remind people all the time, just because you shook somebody's hand, or just because somebody lives 2 doors down from you, doesn't mean you're in his crew. Doesn't mean you're a gangster. Doesn't mean you're a member in the mafia. Doesn't mean you're on record. Doesn't mean you're an associate. It means nothing.
Yeah.
It means that man lives on your block. But for some people, they'll get carried away with that. So, little old me, just an associated guy, right? Just a guy. There's a lot of words for an associate. Hooked up. He's around people, whatever. So people, I would hear, like when I came back, like when I would come back to the neighborhood, like the people that normally wouldn't go out of their way to say hello, are all of a sudden saying hello now. I wasn't a change. I was still the same person.
Yeah.
I wasn't made. I wasn't straight, as they would say in that life, right? I wasn't straight. That was the end game. That was my game.
They know you're hanging around with these people.
They knew I was officially with a crew, and being in the crew in the Bronx, I can tell you, I can't speak on Brooklyn because I at some point I will, but I didn't spend a lot of time in Brooklyn. But I can talk to you about the difference of Queens and the Bronx. I was mid-90s, late 90s. You would think the violence, had subsided and it was quiet. It was not. It was not. It was like fucking, excuse my language, I'm sorry, but it was like somebody always looking to do something. Everybody wanted to be a shooter. I'm being straight. I didn't say I was a shooter. Everybody wanted to be a shooter. Everybody wanted to be a shooter. And those are the most dangerous people, because when you get people that just want to shoot people for no reason, just to make a name for themselves because they think that they're going to move up the ladder quicker.
Yeah, just for blatantly shooting someone and not having any brains behind it.
I really want to go a little deeper with you with this. I would learn to find out in a very short period of time. I'm with a certain crew. You had a very strong West Side crew. I can't say any of their names because all active right now. You had a very strong Bonanno presence. Look, I can tell you this. It was known across the board that every family was concerned that there was too much power in the Bronx. Across the board. All the heavies guys are active, so I'm not going to say names, but
because there was a lot of power in the Bronx.
Right. I'll just say a couple of names because they're gone. So you had Frankie Loke up in the Bronx, okay, Gambino guy, right?
Yeah.
He's gone. Could say his name. You had Vinny Batches away. He's doing life. I hope he gets home.
Free Vinny Baciano.
Absolutely.
What's up, man? How are you? Midwest Mobsters, how are
you? Absolutely. So you had Vinny on up in the Bronx. You had Frankie Lowe, and
did you see donkeys running down the street in the Bronx?
Yeah,
you did, huh?
And you had a very strong. The house I was in, very strong presence. Very strong presence in the Bronx. And who am I leaving out? We said the West Side. We said you had Frankie Loke up there. You had the Bonanos up there. Oh, there was one Colombo guy I knew up there. Didn't have a strong presence in the Bronx. Not that I knew of.
Tough Tony was in Brooklyn, right?
Tough Tony was in Queens, my neighborhood, Corona, Queens. Just because he's from Queens and actually lived, he's passed now, about a mile from where I live right now. But I got to tell you, I was just telling somebody this area that's a mile from where I am now, it's an area called Malba, Queens. I could go back from Carmine Tremonti. They called him Mr. Gribbs.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not a historian, so I only know because I knew. It's not like I researched the shit. That's the truth, Billy. Tony Ducks, Corallo.
Yeah.
Tommy Lucchese. Mr. Federici, Tough Tony. Guys, most people might not have heard of. Sal Macaluso. You had some Salernos over there. Malba, for some reason, it's where a lot of big houses are. Malba is what separates College Point and Whitestone. So you had a lot of old-time wise guys there, and then you had the new blood, which would be, believe it or not, the Tough Tony, came after Tommy Lucchese. Even different families, but I'm just trying to put the age, show you the differences. So they were still, for some reason, Malba. I grew up in a building in Flushing, Queens.
Yeah, the other guys like Junior, right? Gotti Jr. was in Queens, and
Howard Beach.
And who else? A-Light was in Queens.
Yeah, total opposite side of Queens than where I'm from.
Roxy wants to know, did you ever meet Justice Tech JTP's dad or brother?
No. And no, absolutely not. No. Nope.
Let's get back on the part with what happened with Silo.
So one day I'm going through, I was probably looking to look at some football video, or I don't know, I might have been looking for tomatoes. I don't know what I was doing, but I'm on YouTube. I wasn't, I was always doing something, so I wasn't really big into the YouTube thing or even watching it. So I'm flicking through and I see this channel, some guy called Lee Cole. Obviously, I know who Lee is now from afar. I don't know the man. And I see, I hear him say, so today we're going to have on a gentleman by the name of Tony Silo. I don't think nothing because I don't know the name Tony Silo. It doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I look and I see the avatar, of the one he always uses, the one he used on my platform that I gave him. Right?
Yeah.
So I didn't know this at the time. I hear him start to speak. I said, holy shit, that's yeah.
And the last time you seen him was at that fight?
Probably, it had to be probably 25, 30 years. I'm trying to, if I had to think about it. So my kids were 9. I'm active, 34. Yeah, probably 26 years, 28, 27 years, something like that. Long time. And again, I would hear things like I told you, I'd come back to the neighborhood. I was always back in the neighborhood. Stuff was always going on. It wasn't like just because you're based out of the Bronx, no, we were everywhere. You know what I mean? Wherever there's something to do, there's something to do. So I was in Queens a lot. But so the ones that you hear shit, hey, you know so and so, he says he knows you. Who? That kind of stuff. Getting back to him.
He said he married Escobar's daughter.
Yeah, I heard something like that.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, cringy. Anyway, you know, the last thing that I would ever want to do is go on like a smear campaign tour. But, you know, I feel, oh my God. I just, what he did was personal. And I took it personal. And I'll tell you why. You see, when I stopped and sat down and realized, holy shit, that's so and so, and I'll let him figure out if he wants to tell people, because everybody, I'm sure there's a lot of people that know his name already, but he's got to, you know, whatever. You know, you want to live behind an avatar with a cigar in your mouth, that's up to you. Go ahead, clown boy. You go ahead and do that, clown boy. Whatever. But he
You hear a story on Lee Coles, right?
yeah, so I stop, I sit down, and that's when I find out the tragedy of his child. And it broke my heart because I knew the kid and I knew my boys knew him. So immediately I called one of my sons. I said, I think it was my son Vincent, or it might have been Antonio. I said, Toe, I said, Tony Silo. I didn't say that. He lost his boy's gone? Yeah, Pop. Yeah, Pop, he passed away. He passed away a year ago. I said, you guys, I never heard you talking. Yeah, you know, and it just so happened, you know, a lot of the kids, my boy's age, were losing their lives. You know, it was like 7 or 8 kids had lost their life tragically. You know, so that's when I first see him. After all this time, I'm hearing him talk to Lee Cole. So I heard some of the Tough Tony stuff because Lee Cole's asking him questions about, you know, so I hear you're around Tough Tony Federici and Corona stuff and this, that, and the other thing. I can't answer none of those questions, you know, about who he was around, the this, that, or the other thing. You know, I've said what I had to say. That unfortunately, 99.9999999 fucking quadruple 9 added on to that. Everything's a horrific lie. Everything. Dr. Seuss, Hanna-Barbera is waiting for him. They're looking to bring back fucking Sylvester the Cat. Hallmark is waiting for him.
That's wild.
It's not fun to sit here and do this. But when you decide that you're going to, because I chatted, I never chatted in my life. So I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Anthony, this is me, Craig Gatto. Craig, I didn't know if Antonio, you know, I think I even said my kids' names. He knew right away. He remembered.
Primo, I already did that raffle. I don't know where you were when I did it, but I already did that raffle, man.
So, you know, that's how the interaction started. Then a couple months later, you know, I through you, one day I hear you say, check out the Tommy Stick show. So I did. Who's in the chat? Tony. Silo. Same old avatar, same cigar. Oh, Tone.
Oh, refile.
Oh, Tommy. Craig Gatto, whatever, you know, Billy Staxx said, check out your show. And, you know, nice vibe, relaxed. Tony sees my name, immediately tells everybody in Tommy's chat, which was nice. Yo, this is a dear friend of mine, Craig Gatto. Go back with him 30 years. You know, said nice things about me, what you would want somebody to say about you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They were true. I'm not a cocky guy. I'm not stuck up. I am a nice guy. I treat people with respect. I give respect. I was raised that way.
100%.
But when you don't deserve it no more, you're not going to get it. So at this point, I already have and it's still small. I have a little thing going. I don't know what I'm doing with it. You know, you would help me whenever I needed help or whatever. I didn't know what direction I was going with it. So I don't know how it came about, but he says, why don't you, I'll come on and we'll do some, because he knew my passion was not going to be about speaking about the street.
Yeah, but so at this point, did you hear him talk about any of the mob shit, and did you ask him about it?
Thank God, Billy, I was taught right. There's things you don't ask. I don't care how close you are with somebody. You
didn't say like, dude, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like,
let me just put it this way. I covered it all last night, but I'm gonna do it again for you and your people that gave their time to be in this chat tonight, this evening. By the way, thank you for tuning into my man here.
Yeah, and go subscribe to Craig Gatto, the reality.
Thank you very much. This is about you.
It's in the description of this video.
Thank you, my brother. But I wasn't trying to, like, I'm going to tell you, I had a lot to say last night, and that's not what my show was about. Somebody just put something in the chat box, and it just set me off. Because, you see, what I didn't know was I put him on a platform. I actually was taking a back seat on my own shit. And I started to notice a pattern. Like, if you say 5, he says 6. If you say 10, he says 11. If I did this, he did that.
It's a one-upper type thing.
Yes.
I know people like that too. They try to
so I have
everything you do.
Right. So I have a guy on my show every Friday night, okay, that lived a certain life, born into the life. You understand? You know who that gentleman is.
Real deal.
Okay? Right. And he's a beautiful man. He became like a brother. Why does he speak to me? We speak the same language. But he was even trying to, after a while, I'm listening to people that care about me. Since when would you allow a clown? Like that's not, that's not you. You know he's a lying sack of shit.
Yeah, but you don't know all the stuff that he's been.
Well, I didn't know what was about to come. But Billy, I was hearing things that were so cringy that, like, you start to get, like, what we call them whoppers. Whoppers could be funny because that's how embarrassing and cringy they are, that somebody has the nerve to lie that bad where you, like, laugh at them. But then it gets to the point where now you're insulting my intelligence. You understand?
Yeah.
It turns to, like, is that what you think of me? That you could make these crazy fucking lies up that you think I'm going to believe them? I mean, outrageous shit. What?
And he's like, yeah.
Listen.
He thinks you could believe all of it.
Listen,
of course.
He's got to answer for all of those. He don't have to answer. What baffles me is the shows that continue to allow him to platform, to have a voice. Are you kidding me? Is this what this fucking world has become? Really?
Yeah.
We are talking to Dr. Seuss. Green eggs and ham? That's fucking him. You remember the movie Cable Guy? Jim Carrey?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's really, remember, whatever he watched as a kid, that's what he thought he was. He's really the cable guy. So,
There's a bunch of them in this genre.
and listen, I always say we're not going to be part of drama. We're not going to have drama on my show. Going to get the fuck out, throw them out, like you do. Put them in the bathroom, whatever.
Yeah,
No drama. But
so
so
you're doing a football show,
right? Because that's my, I love football. That's my thing. I don't want to be talking about true shit. I really didn't want to.
Yeah, so you guys weren't talking about mob shit. It wasn't about street shit.
Right. So, I find myself like, people find out, oh, you also an organizer for a union? I did a lot of things in my life. There's many things I did. That's a little piece of my life. So, like Jimmy, our brother Jimmy, ran North Jersey, the laborers unions, covered a lot of areas. I organized for a union here in New York City. Guess what he did? He was all of a sudden he was a president of a union. So you get where I'm going with this here?
Yeah, you're like, where the fuck was I at?
Yeah, no, and that's cool. But come on, bro.
If it was true,
it's
right?
Cringy. It's cringy. It's cringy because it's not so much that I know it's bullshit. It's bad enough that I'm allowing it because I already know it. It's like, all right, it's got to stop. But it's the other people that are noticing it that people that you think don't know apples from apples are starting to see it. That's a problem. So I took it personal that I felt that just based on the strength of our children playing together as kids, and you understanding the fact that I would have no problem with hitting you in the head with a fucking hammer at one time, and he knew it. And he knew it. Yeah, I was an idiot. I will hit you with a fucking hammer. Not now. I'm an old man now.
Yeah, I was pretty stupid myself at times.
But I chose that path. So you're either all in. You can't be half-ass in anything you do in life because it never works. Now, that whole path is not the right path. So I'm blessed that I was able to. I could have listened when everybody's doors got kicked in and everybody got rounded up. I could have walked right into another crew with another family. But things worked out the way they did. And you know what? I could hold my head up high, my friend. I go back to the Bronx. I could walk down any street with my head held high. Because you know why? Fucking peep. And guess what? You shouldn't be rewarded for keeping your mouth shut either. That's expected. No. That's expected.
It is. It's expected.
And if it comes off that I'm acting like a tough guy for saying that, I'm sorry. But you don't get rewards for not ratting. No, it's expected. Just like when you sign up for that life, it's expected you're going to die or go to jail at some point. Most likely jail.
Not them other guys. They knew they were going to cooperate when the shit hit the fan.
And I'm not, listen. You're a friend. You asked me to come on. I told you, that's just, those are my beliefs. You find in life now look, as I sit back and, and I get the phone calls from other people. You believe the balls on this guy? That he actually is over here or over here or over here. I could care less. Do me a favor. I don't want to hear about it because they know, don't tell me. Don't fucking tell me. I don't want to hear it.
So where does all this come to a head? You guys are doing the show together.
So and he was saying a lot of crazy things and like outrageous shit.
Someone just said that he has a private jet. He has dinner with made guys all over the country.
Yeah. let me put it to you this way. You know how I'm sure you see, you know how like before Jimmy comes on Friday nights, I try to do the best, a horrible Ric Flair impersonation.
Yeah.
You know, because I break Jimmy's balls, you know, high flying, limousine riding, always profiling. Well, he definitely the Ric Flair of.
He was a professional boxer, sparred with Mike Tyson, beat
you know, I'm glad you brought that up. Do you know where I had my daughter's 21st birthday party?
Where?
Vinnie Matalone's Lounge. You know where Vinnie? Do you ever hear of the heavyweight fighter Vinnie Matalone?
Yeah, I've heard the name.
Right. Do you know? Well, I didn't know about this, you know, until like 40 videos were sent to me. Ended up in the algorithm somehow.
Silo's Playhouse, right?
Absolutely, and also my adult children got them. You know, we all seem to get the same gift on the same day. So time was up anyway. Time was up. So, you know, forget about the ESPN stuff and you know, all the crazy shit. And,
ESPN stuff? Why?
I don't, you know, listen, Billy, it's cringy. It's so fucking cringy, bro. Like, I'm embarrassed. I don't even want, like, I'm embarrassed to perpetrate somebody else's stories.
Some people do that quite a bit.
Listen to me.
Hear somebody say a story and they'll use it as their own. A lot of these people do that.
Pinocchio ain't had nothing on this motherfucker. Nothing.
Wow.
I mean, brutal. And, you know, so finally at the end, I just, you know, he hopefully someday he'll be, you know, he'll either come out and say what he was, you know, what I actually told him. But I did have to ask him, like, why, bro? Like, why me? Like, why? Like, what? How did you figure that'd be a smart move? Like, not that I'm not nothing special, but I'm a man at the end of the day.
Yeah, you felt like he kind of tried to play you.
At the end of the day, we're men. Fuck rules, fuck this, fuck that. We're men. So to some people, that means something. To others, as we see, they're fence sitters. They go whichever way the wind blows.
Some people are males. They're not men. They're just males.
That's a very good analogy, my man. I like that. Do you mind if I use that?
Oh, you can use that.
Thank you. If I make any money off of it, I'll send you a piece. All right. But you know, it got cringy, and you know, did I ever think it would get to the point, you know, that I tried to do it the best way possible. Like the night that I had to tell people Tony won't be around no more. You know, not around. That sounded bad, but
won't be on your show.
Yeah, it won't be on the show. Yeah, it won't be around no more.
Yeah.
23 years removed from that shit. But anyway, yeah, he's not going to be on this show no more. So, you know, that was kind of too bland. I thought I owed it a little more to the community we were building. So you do what a man is supposed to do. I put him up there. It's my responsibility to take accountability for that. I misread him. I trusted something I shouldn't have trusted. Knowing full well I shouldn't have trusted. I opened the door for him to meet and get have somebody share their life with somebody they shouldn't be sharing their life with. And I vouched for him. And I don't give a shit. It's life. It's man code. I don't care what we call it. We're not in a mob. But there's still a certain way you have to carry yourself as a man. So if I tell somebody, you know, he's good, you could talk to him, I should know better when he's not good. So I had to own that.
Look what happened in Donnie Brasco, right?
Well, right, and we weren't committing crimes, but I still told, I don't give a shit. It don't matter to me. This ain't about committing crimes. But if I tell somebody, nah, you could tell him, nah, tell him, yeah, nah, he's good, he's good, he's with me, he's good. So if that person had confidence in me, He's gonna, anything I say to him, he's gonna, I'm co-signing for it.
Yeah.
So now I got to apologize to people I shouldn't be apologizing to, but I have to, because that's what you have to do. I made that introduction. Now I find myself apologizing to too many people. So of course I'm going to get angry at some point, because I'm answering questions. Like right now, my ears are getting red. I could feel them. Billy.
Yeah, because you really shouldn't even have to go through all this.
No, but you know what? It's good though. It's good. I'll tell you why it's good. Because you always need reminders in life that when you put faith in human beings, men, women, I don't care what we're talking about here, you always set yourself up for failure, because everyone is corruptible, fallible, could be a liar, could be whatever word we want to use. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. So
some people have ulterior motives. You know what I'm saying?
And I started to feel, after he's gone, the trolls were gone. That statement was loud and clear. Subs went way up. Views went way up. So, but I still felt the need. My chest was heavy, Billy. I had more to say. So last night, I was actually doing a show that I don't really enjoy doing. My people know it. You know, when I say my people, the community. I don't like talking about, I don't enjoy it. I don't get off on it. But you know what?
I know I had to pry shit out of you the last time you were here.
No, because listen, we can't run from our past. So that's not what I'm saying either. But I don't want to ever seem like I'm not glorifying this shit. Now, living it, that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. There's nothing I wouldn't have did for that. Otherwise, why be in it? I wanted the button. I wanted to be made. I wanted it. I smelt it. I was at the finish line, I thought, or close to it. Whatever. You know, maybe that was just in my mind. Why you would want that? You know, looking back at it 23, 24 years later, you had to be a fucking moron. But anyway,
you walk in the room and
when you think about it,
head of the table, you're like, what the fuck?
I mean, when you think about it, what we're really doing is, and actually I had a lawyer tell me this, and for any douchebags out there that don't know, you know, I have a brain. So, you know, the lawyer I used on my case was the lawyer that represented Only Wise Guys, and he actually represented the top dog in my indictment. So, you know what? I'm smart enough to know to use the same law firm as the top dog. Now, did I luck out by getting that law firm? Yes, because I didn't have 10 cents. We were all broke at that point. That's the truth too. But you wouldn't know it by looking at us, because everybody looked good. Nobody had 10 cents. But that goes on. But that's neither here nor there. You broke one day, you loaded the next. That's just how that life goes. But I will say this. My lawyer's name was Murray Richmond. They used to call him Don't Worry Murray. Anybody in the Bronx that's hearing this is laughing right now because they know it's true.
I've heard of him. Baywatcher, what's up?
Murray Richmond also represented, because Murray, when I had a few consultations with him, of course, he represented Shine. I'll never forget him telling me he got Shine a great deal, 10 flat. And
hey, the guy that was locked up with Shine, the Albanian gangster from the Bronx, from Arthur Avenue. I interviewed him.
Absolutely.
No. This other guy's Saro. I interviewed him last night.
Really?
Yeah, he's in Kosovo right now. He got deported after he did 18 years in prison.
So he knew all the guys on Arthur Avenue, and
all of them.
Yeah, I won't go through all the names. And there was a horrific incident on Arthur Avenue many years before I got there. That caused a lot of friction, but whatever. We could leave that for another time. It had nothing to do with anybody I was around or with, but it was two powerhouses involved. One is alive, one is gone. So I won't speak on it now, but someday I will. Not that I had any inside. Like I said, I came around later on, but it was a big thing, very big. Yeah.
So when you finally cut ties with him, like, how do you explain it to him? Do you say, "What the fuck, dude"?
Yeah, I told first. He was doing the fishing expedition. When you're on the street and doing bad things, and you understand from when you were doing bad things in the street, right?
Yeah.
You would always have, in our case, ours was state organized crime, not feds. I think one of the guys feds wind up taking it, but it's mostly state organized crime. So you always know it is. You're being watched or pictures, whatever. Surveillance is always going on.
Yeah.
Because that's their thing, man. If you think about it, I'm just going to say this to say it, but think about this. Just think about this. 9/11, I spent 17 hours a day working in 9/11. That's how bad it was. I was already back to work in construction, but still technically I'm in the street, but I was working. And that, but the days of, 24 hours a day being out and about and hustling and doing things, it was bad. So 9/11 is what? September 11th, right? 2001, right?
Yeah.
We get rounded up December 6th, 2001. So what are we talking? October, November, December. So we're 3 months into 9/11. What's important? The country, right? 9/11.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Guess what made page 3?
That organized
and every fucking newspaper, radio station, television, because it's an obsession that the government has. And I'm not here to. It's a fact.
It's true, because the stuff that happened recently in Springfield, where the legitimate members of a social club vote out the president, and they go through the process. All of a sudden, it hits the papers that it's this big mob coup and a takeover. They do that for organized crime reasons, to put resources in different places in the country.
Absolutely. I've told people this, and this is a fact. Look, you take a bookmaker, a guy that's got a good bookmaking business, he's taking bets. Now you got all these legal places. So, but you still got guys that are taking action. But let's say back in the day, you had what you called lone wolves. So you had guys that had offices, and they had big offices. They were doing big money, $1 million a year. That's small office, really. Let's say $500,000 a year, but they're lone wolves. They're non-Italian. I don't care what they are. They're fucking Taiwanese, and they're actually Chinese gamble too. I'm just using that as an example, but they're not linked to OC. You take that guy that gets pinched for a loan, for taking action, and he's running $1 million operation a year, and he'll get a slap on the wrist. You get a guy that's affiliated with a family with the same office, but it's OC related, he's going to get 7 or more. You're going to get hit with the RICOs and everything that goes with it, just because it's OC, because they could label it OC. That's it. Look, I'm not here as an apologist for nothing. I'm just telling you it's a fact. It's a fact.
Deep dish from Mondy's uncle. He asked what the best pizza in Chicago is. Deep dish, man. It's pretty good.
I never been to Chicago, so I hear it's great. I'm partial. I came out to Connecticut a few times because I love my pizza, obviously. I went to Frank Pepe's. I went to all of them out there in New Haven.
Frank Pepe's is good, man. That's one of the
Sally Abbeat. Oh, the other one, Sally Abbeat's. The other one.
Yeah.
You're not going to be my friend after this. I won't say it. I'm only kidding. No, they were good. Very good.
So when you tell him, hey, listen, man, I'm getting sent all these videos, like
videos didn't even come yet. He was doing the fishing expedition. Hey, what'd you do today? What do you mean what I do today? You go on YouTube? I used to tell him, Tony, I don't really watch YouTube much. Like you probably at that point, you were a show I watched, not really many shows. I just didn't. I watched more sports highlights or studying games, whatever, just whatever.
Yeah.
But what he was doing was he knew these videos were out there and eventually they were going to get to me. And I was also, the lies were getting more cringier by the day. I just couldn't hear them anymore. So what happens is I got a whopper, a really bad whopper lie. It was like cringy. So I said to him, look, I think it's best you go your way. I'm going to go mine. And I nicely, I didn't want to raise my voice the way I'm saying it to you. Now, a lot of people, when they get, what does a rat do when they get backed into a corner? They jump.
Yeah, they try to talk their way out of it. Like,
right, well, yeah. So there was no time, or I didn't have time for none of that. Not that I'm special. I'm just not going to waste time with that. It's over. That's it. But it wasn't until a day later that I got all these videos. And I'm seeing me, Jimmy, with this. I'm like, what? At the same time, you're on platform with me. You're starting fights in other shows. You're in other panels. You made a mockery of everything I allowed. So from a distance, anything I must have been saying about the life or this or that, people must have been saying, I get it. If he's got this Dr. Seuss next to him, he's got to be fucking the Grinch or what. I don't know who I must have been called, the Roadrunner. I don't know. Yeah.
My affiliation, right?
So I get it. But so that's why I had to own it and say, listen, I made a mistake and somebody was on this panel that shouldn't have been there the way a man should. Whoever wanted to accept that, first of all, Billy, I didn't need to go on a world tour to be an apologist.
Yeah, no.
I owed it to the people that tuned in nightly. I owed it to you if you tuned in. You understand what I mean? Yeah. I needed to take accountability that I made a mistake. But when this and this became known to me, besides crazy other shit, storm of lies that we spoke about, and it came down to a simple thing, like, why, bro? What's up?
What was his answer for that? When
I tried to give him an out, just say something.
Did he give you a response when you said why?
No. Normally, when people don't like to hear the truth, they want to deflect or
fight or flight, man.
Yeah, and it's easy to want to fight when you're 3,000 miles away, or raise your voice. But whatever, And I actually went on the air the next night or 2 nights later, whatever it was. I said, Tony's going to do good. I didn't want to bury him. He's going to be great at what he does. It's just not going to be here. But that wasn't enough. And I felt that way. I did. I said, nah. I wanted to try to do it as classy as can be. Unfortunately, some things needed to be said. And it actually took months because I really didn't go off until last night. And it was only because somebody said something and it triggered me.
And this happened months ago, right? This
was like he's been gone at least 3 months. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, it just shows you gotta watch out who you affiliate.
I told somebody this. I said, being in the street and living the street, being in the street and being active, that's another. We could talk about that another time, you know. But being very active and being counted on, okay, there's a big difference. I knew guys that were on record and were around. They weren't counted on. They were victims. They were marks. They were there for one reason: money. Only reason. What I'm saying is this: it's tough enough and hard enough that when you think you got brothers and they go bad, and you think you got a good read on somebody that you've been with for 3 years and they turn out to be rats. How difficult is it to from across the screen? You can't get a good read on somebody.
No.
Yes, you could. Yeah, you could. Yes, there's certain things I could see or look at. So when I said, all right, my kids played ball with his kids.
Yeah, that's what made you feel comfortable, though.
Yes, yes. Even though I was told from people I love, you sure, Pop? Let me just tell you a little bit about this. All right. He ain't never going to do that here. And then those videos came. But there was a whole bunch of, stuff before the videos. Like, the videos was just the icing on the cake. What baffles me today is after people saw what went down and he had to be chased, and he's burnt so many other people before. How it's baffling how other shows continue to let him do what he does, and they actually believe anything he might say. I'm telling you, it was so bad that if he would tell me the sun is out, to me that would mean it's a fucking tornado outside.
Yeah, you would say it's sunny,
Assume
and he would be like,
opposite.
"No, it's dark out." Yeah,
assume
you and everything, right?
Yeah, and listen, I said what I had to say last night. I hope he takes me up on it. I'll pray on that. Anytime I could come on and help you out, brother, and share some interesting stuff with you,
I appreciate it, man.
You're my man. You know that.
Definitely. And everyone here, go subscribe to Craig Gatto. He's got a great channel. He has shows every few days, every couple of days.
And I promise you one thing: green eggs and ham, we ain't. Billy, I love you, man.
Love you too, man. Thank you. You muted your mic.
All right. I love you, brother. You be well. All right.
Love you too, man. Thank you.
All right. Peace.
Peace. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I appreciate it. Maybe he gave you guys a little more context on what happened over there. And shout out to the Reality Report. Thank you for joining me today. He's a great guy. Go check him out. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. And make sure you check out my Patreon. I got a lot of great content over there. If you want to see unreleased Romundi, just go check it out. I release probably a video a week. And there's so many. It's like never ending. So go subscribe to the Reality Report. I'll put the link in the description of this video. If you want to donate to the show, you can donate through Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Super Sticker, Super Chat, Zelle, all that great stuff. I appreciate you, man. There's the link right there. I got to handle some things. Thank you, guys. And I got a really big show dropping tomorrow night. So make sure you guys check it out. Have a great night, everyone. Maybe I'll jump on later, but tomorrow is going to be insane. You don't want to miss it. I'm going to, the Albanian gangster is going to be on Chatting with Staxx, and you don't want to miss it. If you guys like this content, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't like this podcast, too bad. Start your own. I appreciate all you guys. And remember, don't be a bitch.
And all new at 5, a major organized crime bust. 23 people under arrest now accused of stealing guns and cash.
Today, police revealed 4 organized crime groups are wreaking havoc.
From aggravated robbery to kidnapping, burglary, and more. Let's take a look at this. New pictures from court documents in this case. These are a few of the people who have been charged, and investigators say the money, tens of thousands of dollars, is all stolen.